So absolute pleasure today to have Matt and Emily from Australia, fellow Muscle Nation athletes on the podcast today. So big thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So just for a brief intro for anyone who doesn't know who you guys are, who are you, what do you do, where are you from? Obviously from the accent, you can tell from Australia.
Yeah. You go.
Okay, so I'm Matt Oreilly. I am WBFF Pro Muscle Model.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously Aussie, from the Gold Coast in Australia on the East Coast. I am an electrician by trade, but currently working online with Emily's business. We've been working together, building that. And I'll hand it over to Em.
And I'm Emily King. I'm a figure pro with WBFF, but also an online coach. I do nursing as well, and I've done PT for about 4 or 5 years now, but taken everything online in the last 2 years, which has been super busy and super beneficial for our lifestyle because we like to move around a lot, and being online has helped us reach so many people and just keep it moving around.
It's the scalability of that online. I think it's wicked as well. Like, I saw you guys love traveling. I know, Emily, you spent some time in Thailand as well, in Patong, which I fucking love it out there. I'm going there in
it was amazing.
I could camp out there for like 3-4 months. But the only thing I find with Thailand is every time I go there, I end up getting food poisoning.
Oh, he does. I'm good.
I popped it as well. She's actually, last time she went, she got hit a little bit.
Yeah, I did actually.
Genuinely, I think I've been like 5 times. Every single time I've been ill, and I never ever get ill at home. So I think that doesn't include
things you have to wear, isn't it? You put up with it, but it's so true.
Yeah. So obviously you guys got the WBFF show coming up soon. How long have you got until that, and where is it?
So the International Pro Hem is here on the Gold Coast at the Star Casino, and that is this Saturday. So we're literally 4 days out. So it's pretty scary.
So now into the dark end of it, where it starts getting fun. How many shows have you guys done, and how long have you two been together, out of curiosity? How did you first meet?
I've done 15 shows, so this will be my 15th show. Not all with WBFF. I did like 8 or 9 with ICN, and then NABBA, and then WBFF. So I've been around the traps a little bit, so I've been competing for like 9 years now. But this is Matt's
my third show.
And
so
then
I thought you'd done a hell of a lot more than that, Matt. When did you turn pro then, after the first one?
I did. So I first met Emily going back 3 years ago, and we did the last 4 weeks of prep together, it was funny when we both won our pro show. Won our pro cards at WBFF. Just happened to be my first one.
Yeah.
But I was quite fortunate.
But we're just friends for like 2 years because I couldn't deal with dating his ass.
She finally tuned in after a while. So we've been together now, since August last year?
Yeah, since Worlds last year.
And we did that prep together as well and went over together and competed. So it was, I guess we've tested each other well and truly seen the dark side through preps. And
I think it's one of those things that's obviously like what was quite an awesome thing I wanted to talk about, was like how, like, obviously watching both of you guys on social media is awesome to see how you both like prep together and like get on, whereas like so many people find that they end up killing each other, like if just one person's on prep, let alone both of you. So like that's quite an interesting dynamic I wanted to talk about today, was obviously about how you guys manage that process and what you do in terms of your training and your diet, like, because that for me is like fascinating. I think the fact that you guys met probably when you were both like probably moody and irritable to a degree, if you were both in prep at that time, you probably like met each other when you were at your worst. So when you're good, you're probably like super good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was strange. Like we were always like really good friends. We always had a really good bond. And then when we went over and competed overseas, we spent obviously a lot of time together. And then we just relaxed after our comp, and it was able to see each other's like fun side. And then we're like, oh, I really like this person.
We were literally in Mexico after we finished in Vegas, and it's so true. Yeah. Once all that was done, the pressure was off, and we relaxed and had fun. It sort of just opened up, I guess, for both of us from there. So, and haven't looked back, but it is in terms of kept like prepping together, like everyone, and it's so true. A lot of people go, "Oh, you can't do it because you need the support of one or the other who's not prepping to do the extra miles, to run around, to do the cooking." And we thought about that, but we've only ever known each other in prep, and we bounced off each other and pushed each other. So we thought, oh shit, what's going to happen in this prep? This is really going to test make or break us because we're actually together. But it's been like, for me, it's been fantastic. So I've had the best prep to date, and it's probably because, one, I'm getting a little bit more used to it, but because Em's so experienced with it, and she knows not to put up my shit. As soon as I start injuring, it's usually me, guys. If I start having a rough time,
it's so true.
she just goes, wake up yourself. Like, you're being ridiculous. Like, pull your head in.
Yeah.
And that's usually enough for me. I'll cop it on the chin a little bit.
What's the next thing you tend to, like, you whinge and moan about then, Matt? Because I think it's the same. I think generally I find as well, I think men tend to struggle more with dieting than women to a lot of degrees. Yeah. Our pain threshold's not there for, like, being hungry or tired.
Literally just talking about it, because I am
literally half an hour ago he was having a whinge.
I was having a whinge. I'm like, I'm not going to sleep again tonight, and I haven't the last few nights because I am so bloody hungry. And anyone that's prepped or has been in that situation, know what I'm talking about. You're staring at the ceiling at night because all I can think about, and you can't switch your brain off. It's like eat.
Yeah,
but it's funny, and like I watch her, and she's like, yeah, I'm hungry too, but. To be honest, like her calories were cut quite low, a lot earlier than mine. She dieted a bit, like she went a bit harder a bit earlier. But like you just said, she never really whinged about it, whereas it kills me.
Yeah. I'm just like, I've got to do this. This is what's going to happen. And you're kind of like, oh, this is hard. And
I'm like, oh, it'll be all right. I'm prepared for it. Like I was just saying, I could train for 6 hours a day. Yeah. It's not an issue. But
that's the fun bit, isn't it?
Yeah, as soon as I'm like hungry, like my food's cut, it's so hard, but it's part of the process. So. And
do you both prep yourselves?
No, we actually, I've had so I have 2 people that help me.
Yeah.
We have the same coach now for the last few weeks because I like to have mine like one-on-one. So I have someone that's in person that I can go see. It's the same person, Anne-Marie, that sees Matt as well. So that's handy that we have the same coach, and we kind of bitch to her about each other, so that's handy as well.
Yeah, sort of vent, and she's sort of. But I've been with Anne-Marie from the very get-go, 3 years, so she knows me to a T and knows the shit she's got to deal with.
I think that's something important for like everyone to listen. I don't know if you'd agree, but like for me, like I like having like external accountability for like everything I do, whether it's like business or like training or whatever, because I think you end up mind fucking yourself too much otherwise. Like Matt, you're like you like. As a guy, you get the same thing, like you're hungry. I'm like, but you get really flat and you're like, fuck, I'm getting small. I need to eat more. And then like, you just need someone to tell you, just fucking get on with it. You don't need food now. Just get leaner.
Yeah. I'd be questioning it, and your mind games exactly what you just said. And like, I need that. And to be accountable to someone as well. Like, yeah, I'll push myself, but when I know someone's watching over and goes like, what have you been doing? And straight away, I'm like, yeah, okay, I was stuffed up. I'll cut a corner here. And whereas, like, and we have the knowledge as well, but like you just said, like when you're deep into prep and you're hurting, like you do start the second guess. You say, am I too flat? Do I need more carbs?
He's the worst at it. He'll just want to like drive himself into the ground. But I'm usually the one to be like, okay, now it's time to chill, or don't do so much cardio, or stop doing 2-hour sessions. Like, so I'm usually the person to be that one.
I think that's the thing. Like, I think most people who tend to get involved in this tend to be like type A personalities. I'm the same. Like whenever I diet myself, as I tend to want to go full bore, like over bore all the time. Like even when I'm super fucked, I just want to keep going. And it ends up, you just dig such a big hole that you can't get out of it. And you just end up losing loads of muscle tissue and get worse. And you make it more of a unpleasant experience than it needs to be.
Yeah, so true. And I actually had my coach on my back about that. So I was wanting to go harder, and she's just like, look, I'll get you to the point where you flatten out too much and I won't be able to bring you back and for comp. So yeah, you get on the money there.
In terms of both your diets then, do you eat fairly similar in terms of food choices? Well, obviously like amounts be fairly different. What do your diets look like at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm literally going through depletion at the moment. So we call it the fish protocol. So I have 5 meals.
White fish.
White fish. I mix it up between barramundi and hoki with just greens at the moment. I get 200 grams of pumpkin pre and 200 grams of pumpkin post-workout. So that's what it looks like at the moment. Pumpkin, yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
So carbs are like literally, I think carb total at the moment for me, which is like 80 grams of carbs or less. Really trying to deplete the glycogen out, and then hopefully come Thursday, Friday, get to fill right up. So,
it's just a random question. How on earth do you cook the pumpkin then?
We are actually quite
lucky. Is it seasonal because it's Halloween coming?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they have it all year round in Australia.
Yeah, I think so. It always seems to be downstairs at the. How's this? We've got a Coles just downstairs.
Like a supermarket downstairs.
A supermarket, I should say. Yeah, supermarket just downstairs from us. So I literally get an elevator and go down. It's that convenient. And pick it up if we need more chicken breast.
And we just boil it. It's like our diet's super boring at the moment. It's like grilled fish. I have raw zucchini because I just put it in the microwave, and then I have boiled pumpkin, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like zucchini, courgette as well, like that, and aubergine or eggplant. I think you guys might call it like that. It's just easy.
Yeah, we're super boring.
We're super boring. This part of prep, but then like when Em's in the off season, that's a sight to see because she does a bit of she's completely different to me. I'm pretty anal year round. Like, I keep it clean, but obviously the calories are well and truly
clean, but your like cheat meals.
But then I'll have a refeed and really enjoy it. She'll just
I'll flexible diet all year round
and eat enjoyable foods, but stay within the calories, and that's what we find works probably
best for both of us.
So. Do you keep the cardio in year round doing that?
We have a dog.
We have a dog, so we have a little bit of neat going on with him. Like we walk him, like when they're so I guess you would say twice, at least once a day, but sometimes.
I meant like a little French bulldog or something.
Yeah, he's I was in bulldog. This is Teddy, but yeah, not really. Not unless with Muscle Nation or something. We've got a shoot coming up. I'll reintroduce it and we'll drop the calories a little bit just so we feel good and obviously look good for them.
Yeah, we try and we do keep quite active. We're never not doing like walking or something. So we try. We've had a better off season last off season. We stayed like a lot more active and we kept our calories a little bit lower to stay leaner, which made it easier coming into this comp prep, obviously. So definitely something worth trying for people that want to stay leaner in their off season.
A lot of people get carried away and go, I can do this. I'm trying to obviously put on muscle mass or balance out their physique in certain areas, but then they end up getting to the point where they're going too hard and they have so much that, I mean, look, if you like doing bulk cardio and flogging yourself to get in that condition, then go for it. But for us, I found this year's been awesome. So just obviously conscious of me calories at all times in the off season with tracking and stuff and keeping it all maintainable.
Yeah.
With your training, do you guys train together? Like I imagine it's fairly different or?
So at the moment we are, but like to be honest, this year was different again with Em's coach. Her training programs are obviously completely different to mine. But in the past, we used to push each other and train. Em would train how I would. Obviously different weights, but the intensity and all that, and we'd follow each other's structure. But yeah, as I was saying this year, it's been different. But we do train together, but we're following different programs.
Yeah, like we try and train as much as we can together, but we do like 3 leg sessions a week.
Yeah.
Whilst Matt only does 1. Like
1 to 2.
We just meet it up at some point. I think Wednesdays we're doing legs together, and then I'll like get in on some of his back sessions. But I do love training with him, but I really wanted to follow like my program this year, which I really haven't ever done. So that was like my priority this year. What's
your both your training splits look like then?
Well, to be honest, like in the off season, it's usually like at least minimum 5-day splits. So
Matt doesn't follow a structure.
I go with how I feel. I've always done my own training programs and been quite happy with that. Every now and then I'll ask them for some advice just to change up, but I'm pretty good with the training side of it. But yeah, like I've been in trouble for that as well in the off season, training too much, and rest is very important, and I am aware of that. But sometimes it's hard for me to want to rest.
Matt's very like he intuitively trains, and like so he'll just, if he feels like training chest one day, or if he thinks he needs to work on his delts for a month, like he'll work that into a structure, and usually he'll have like chest, shoulders, back, separate muscle groups. He'll do splits. I do like upper and lower body splits.
Yeah. I suppose for you could do upper lower body, gets you more glute hamstring work, which I presume is obviously what more you're going to probably need than Matt's probably not going to need to work on his glutes as much.
Exactly, but to change it up for a leg session, I've actually did a fair bit of hamstring and glute work this year, so I would jump in M sessions just to really shock the body, doing some different movements. But
do some barbell thrusters, whatever they are.
I was barbell thrusting. I was actually started thrusting.
I'm so bad at those. I'm so bad.
I had terrible form. I felt like I'd go as well, but obviously it was just something I had to work on, which was good.
Yeah.
You see more and more guys actually doing it now. So.
I think there's a huge amount of benefit for that. Like, I think there's a lot to be said that I think a lot of men need to maybe train more like women, if that makes sense, and probably women more like men.
Hamstring, like lunging, and like Bulgarian
split squats.
Oh, mate, that's my favourite, man.
It looked like much, but holy geez, from all the big compound lifts I do, and I changed it up to that. Like, that really shocked me.
So it's a big thing. That I don't know if you guys have heard of Dr. Jordan Shallows, but I went on a seminar with him, and he literally just pulled me to pieces because like my strength, like unilaterally, is terrible. And he's like, look, if you can't squat on one leg, then you should be squatting on two. So I was like, ever since then, I've been like paranoid and like doing like split squats every session and lunges, just like trying to balance stuff out. Because you don't realize how bad you are until you suddenly break yourself down. And
exactly. I couldn't agree more. That was a shock for me as well. And even like incorporating unilateral leg press and that, just two legs, it's just crazy. So
100%. I think that's where a lot of people just are a bit naive, I think, to know what's going on. I think a lot of people probably know they've got an imbalance, but probably just stick their head in the sand a bit.
Yeah. But it's more so like, I think, especially with like, I think I reprogrammed how you train, because he was just training hard and heavy every session, and there was no progress to it. Like, it was just like, his idea was get into the gym and train as hard every time. So like, there was no like, strength phase.
Phase, the hypertrophy phase. I just, again, and then like Em said before, I go on how I feel. Like, if I was sore in certain areas, I'd be like, what's no point training this? I'm gonna get back in and hit, like, say for me, my rear delts or something back where I was lacking as a weakness. I'd hit that again, where she'd pull me up on it. It's like, we need to set some stuff out, like, with your training, so you're working towards something rather than just going in, flogging yourself every session. But
I think there's a lot to be said for that. Do you guys, like obviously it's interesting you guys working together, are you quite open to each other criticising each other constructively?
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Look, I don't take criticism.
Neither of us do, but we dish it out all the time. I probably wear a lot more than Em does. I find I'm more supportive of her, I believe, in what she does.
I'm very stubborn though, and I think from having my own business for such a long time and having my own vision, like, I'm so sure about what I'm doing. So when, I do take on board with some of the things you say, but then some of the things that I know that you're talking shit about, I'll be like,
She doesn't. Even with work, obviously, like you said, it is her business, us working together. We have slightly different views with nutrition and stuff. Obviously the same outcome, but just how we get there. And man, she wears the boots there. Like, she reminds me very quickly. She's like, this is me, so you're doing the way I want to do it. And I'm like, fair enough.
Do you guys have like an overall principle you follow with like your own diet and diet and nutrition, and same with your clients?
Yeah, I think the big one for us is it's huge in the industry at the moment. Like, and I was one of them. Until Em's reprogram is having flexibility and making it fit within your lifestyle. Like, we're pro athletes, so in bodybuilding terms. So it's different for us, and we can't expect clients or any other people trying to get these results to follow what we do. So it needs to fit, it needs to work, something that's maintainable for them. That's the big thing we try to get out to.
It was more like
clients.
Stopping people from thinking that it was like a diet and then not a diet. Like, it was trying to get people to think about it as a lifestyle. And as soon as we educate people about how to make lifestyle changes and how to, like, equate for different situations, and if something comes up, this is what you do, like, that's when we get results and we got people staying on board.
And not binging as well. Like, we find so often early on in the piece and with the business, like, clients, you provide the meal plans. If we'd have the macro breakdowns and saying, these are the options of foods, like, this is what and they felt restrictive. And like, I can understand that from what we've been through as well, and causing the binge eating and stuff like that, rather than knowing, look, this needs to work with your lifestyle. What foods do you like, and being aware. And like Em said, the social aspect doesn't mean you can't go out with your
your
family
mates
and friends
stuff,
and have a breakfast or something.
Just
or
know
dinner
how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's being sensible.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're all about, because our 99% of our like population of clients is general people. So we actually don't like doing comp prep that much at all.
I don't at all, but M still takes.
Yeah, I do. I do it because I'm like, oh, I really want to help you, and then I'm like, damn it, why did I do that? But just trying to turn off my notifications here. But yeah, no, like we have so much gen pop people, and we have a lot of people like mums and dads and stuff, and just teaching them how to eat well and that it's not impossible to lose weight. Like that's a big thing for me, especially coming from like a nursing background, to teach someone how to feed themselves appropriately. That's
like
really
reprogramming what they've learned over all these years, and then realizing like when they obviously learn about calories and stuff, like how dense some foods are, or they've eaten for so many years, going, wow, I used to consume a lot of calories without even knowing.
That's the frightening thing. Like the thing that like concerns me, and that I don't know if you'd agree with, but I'd love to try and find a way to correct. And I've been thinking about it for a while. It's like the lack of education there is in terms of like nutrition and training from like kids in school. So say like early teens, from like maybe like 12 to like 16. If there's a way you could get hold of people at that age and then teach them how to look after themselves, we'd be fucked because we'd be out of business. But like you can correct like so many problems in terms of overall health and obesity, but like there's just no education in schools for that.
Even like I played high level rugby league growing up, and I was contracted, and man, I wish I knew half the knowledge I did about nutrition now. Even playing football to optimize my performance, playing rugby league, like what the clubs and that provided us with nutritionists, like it was rubbish. I look back on it now, with what I know, going, I could have gained lean muscle mass so much easier and in a better way, and being able to carry around the footy field a lot better than what they provided us. So that was like a huge wake up call as well. These professional clubs that had people in place, and like, it just wasn't. I mean, that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but still, like, with what we know now, it sort of was disappointing.
I think it's still rampant though. I think a lack of like quality nutrition coaching, like even a high level sport, and the same goes with in terms of like physio and rehab treatment. I've got a friend who treats me who's like a super high level physio who was part of like the Olympic team for like Great Britain and things like that. And he, like, some of the stories I hear from him and other people like within the industry about how poor, say for example in the UK, like the physiotherapy is with professional, say football teams, things like that, where like the money is huge. Like these players are getting paid like £500,000 a week, and they're like they're not being looked after properly. Like this is just madness. Like I know you guys heard of Chelsea Football Club, I presume. Like for example, like I presume it's still the case. They didn't have their own cryotherapy clinic, so they were sending like the academy players and stuff into central London to go and do it. It was like, I think a cryotherapy unit costs like 30 grand, like nothing. Like it's just one of the things like that.
More clubs in the world.
It's just bizarre. Just bizarre. So like in terms of training with you guys, then who trains harder?
Oh yeah, he does. Sometimes.
I wasn't expecting that.
She says that. I do go hard, but in saying that, Em can back it up a lot better than I can, especially in terms of endurance. Like that's one thing I thought I was all right at. And when we first met, I was like, yeah, whatever. Like you don't really come from a sporting background, blah, blah, blah. And she is a little freak when it comes to the endurance side.
I'm good at different sports though, sometimes.
Do you have a sporting background as well, then, Emily, to a degree, or?
I was like one of the people that did everything and was like sort of okay at everything. So I did a lot of swimming. I was a big swimmer, but I'm only 5'2", so that career ended pretty early in my life. And then I was doing a lot of long distance running for a lot of years of my life. But yeah, and then I just tried a whole heap of sports, never really like connected with one. And then I found like gym, and that was fantastic. So
that being said, what brought you both into like the gym and fitness industry, and then eventually into competing? What was like, I don't know if trigger point's the right word to use, but something will have like popped in your mind being like, oh, I want to go and do this. What was the point for each of you that brought you into the gym first for training? I guess for you, Matt, it's probably rugby league.
Yeah, it was, and I always enjoyed the off season, the gym side. I loved the gym, so I was always getting in extra gym sessions, even playing rugby league. But it was when I finished that, due to a neck injury, I actually met my coach where I was living at the time, and her and her partner owned the gym, and she's just like, your structure, you'd be crazy not to compete. And I was a huge fan of Arnie and all the old school bodybuilding. And at the time, I laughed being a footy boy. I'm like, you'd never catch me on stage wearing them DTs. Like,
next minute.
And next minute. Next minute. So, yeah, and then it wasn't too long after that. She sort of just kept working me over. And then, yeah, I haven't sort of looked back, and I've loved every minute of it. So I've actually trained.
How did you find the first experience of competing?
To be honest, like, I didn't know. And like she pushed me towards WBFF. That was choosing a federation, that or iifym. And she pushed me towards that. And my first introduction to it here in Australia, WBFF's huge, and the shows they put on, unbelievable. They're giant. Like, it's sold out, the one here at the casino, which is like a big joint.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away by it. And then the people as well. Like, I obviously met Em, but there's so many other friends we've met within the industry, and like how genuine they were. It wasn't, because most of the time you're just looking on Instagram. I knew them on Instagram before I actually met some of the other pros and that. And you sometimes can make an assumption pretty quick, and then it's not the case at all. And I think that's for me. And then like just watching my body change over them, like going back 4 years. I trained for a good year before I even competed in my first show. Like, she was honest with me and said, we need to bring this up. You're all legs. We need to fix this up. So from rugby league, I had legs. So to start with, still pretty much all legs. It's still trying to catch up the rest of the body. But yeah, that was it for me. And Em sort of I actually met Em's friends not long ago who she grew up with. They obviously live away from us up in North Queensland. And they said they were there the day they first got her into the gym. And they're like, they said within a month she was just like out doing us all, and we couldn't get her out of there. Like, she was out partying. She used to go out partying with them, and they got her to do a challenge with them, and she loved it that much. They're like, that was it. She didn't party anymore. She was at the gym. So it's so funny for me to hear that, like, because she's competed across different federations.
And it seems like such a long time ago, because I think I was like 18 or 18 when I started. And I just walked in there, and I was like, I remember the first time I went to the gym, and I was like, oh, what the fuck, I'm just going to go on the treadmill and like stay here for a little bit. And then I found the squat rack was my first thing that I ever walked into, like, of all things, the squat rack. And then like I just did that every day for like 6 months, and then like I was just getting stronger and stronger. And I came from a background of a pretty bad eating disorder, so it kind of gave me a lot of structure to what I was doing and purpose to what I was doing. So in that way, it really helped me develop and grow. And then I just kind of went from nursing to PT, and then it was just like weird love affair.
How did you, out of curiosity, from the eating disorder thing, did that push you into nursing as well, to want to go and help people?
My mum was a nurse, so and after school, I was just like, I need to do something straight away. I'm always that person that needs to be doing something. So I was like, I'll go to uni and do nursing. And then I found like the body functions so like interesting, and all that kind of stuff that kind of has everything to do with what we do now. So,
which with her business as well, it helps big time being able to understand that. So, because a lot of the clients, and she's like, look, I'm a nurse. I've worked for this many years. Like, and they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm not just a PT, online trainer and mentor. Yeah, like I completely understand, and that I'd love that as well. That she has that sort of background.
It gives them some confidence that I know what's happening within the body. But also just like the ability to help people with chronic illnesses and stuff as well. So that's a big thing for me in my business. But yeah, so it all kind of links in.
It's one of those things, I guess, like from the nursing is what you have with the online coaching, the same as I have now. It's like the emotional fulfillment you get from helping someone, and like some of the messages and feedback you get from people where like you've changed their life is like the nicest thing in the world. Like someone said the other day, like them with their kids saying thank you because like their dad had lost so much weight, and it's just like it's all incredible experience.
It's a weird experience, because I think like especially like online, like you don't see them in person, and then like when you even meet someone in person, they're just like, this is what I've achieved, and like thank you so much. You don't realize how much you've affected their life until like you know, they're there and they say that to you. So I really like it. I think it all makes it also worth it. Like even just like the shitty clients sometimes, like I don't mind about them. Like we're affecting so many people in a positive way that it doesn't really matter.
I think it's one of those things you've like, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday, like the bigger the business, your business gets, the more clients you have, the more unfortunately you will obviously, by like numbers, you end up with some people who can sometimes be more challenging. But then you sometimes just have to remember that like the more people you help, the more like likely you're going to have some people that might be slightly more challenging. So it's just being aware of that. And I think like trying to focus on like positivity out of like the people you can help, and then the rest will come from there.
Very true. And like,
and you can't help everyone either.
Can't help it. And some people don't want, and I'm sure you understand this as well. Some people don't want to help themselves. They sign up and you provide everything and you put so much effort because you truly do want to help them, and they just don't do it, and they expect they're going to get these results like by signing up or taking a supplement. That's a huge one. We're like, no, you have to be uncomfortable. You have to make changes in your life, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that's what we do well with our businesses. We work on empowering people through like being more self-aware and being accountable, like to themselves, not even us. Like from the get-go, I'm like, this is whatever you make it. Like I'm here for your support. If you don't get results, that's on you. Like these are the tools, and I'm always to talk about why this is not happening. But like it gives people some like they're like, oh, it's up to me now. Like I have to do this. So that's a big thing that I've noticed with our business lately.
And weekly check-ins as well. Like we're continually on their cases, so there's nowhere to hide. So we know if they're doing the work and following the program. And I think Em's really good at it. Like sometimes I get a bit short and I'm just like, oh man, she's just like, think about it. She's like, look, you need to understand from their perspective. And like, thank God she's so calm, because I'm not sometimes. And I'm just like, why can't they just do this? Like every excuse under the sun, I've heard it. And I'm sure you've seen as well. You get clients and just like, oh, here we go, I got this excuse. Or the big one, I don't have time. And like, I know how busy you are, bro. And like, man, they don't see like how busy she is. And a lot of our work's done at night time because that's when no one's sort of bothering us. So, and then obviously we've got to get in 3 trains at the moment, 3 training sessions as well. And you're trying to factor that in, and then
3 training sessions a day.
Yeah, like we have been literally, like when I say that, 2 of them are cardio and posing, and the middle section. So we try and train in the middle of the day is our weight training. But the early morning, and then the little fella, he's been a little bit neglected. So we're trying to like get him out and do a bit of a walk as well, getting him outside and making sure you're trying to balance everything as well as obviously work. And not just us, like there's so many people out there have families and stuff and work. And I've got male clients that are up training at 4 o'clock in the morning, doing their weights training and then set up for the day and work 10 hours a day, and then get home so they can, because the kids are obviously awake, then they can spend some time with the kids. Like they make it work. And then you've got other people that reckon they don't have the time. It's like, I've heard this excuse. You're not prioritizing time. We all have 24 hours in a day.
If something's important to you, make it happen. It is like as simple as that. It is as simple as that.
Very true. Like we all have our off days. We know that.
But I think it comes down to like people being ready. And like I understand, like I've done programs. Like I think I can see a lot of things out of experience. Like I've done a lot of programs where I wasn't ready to accept that I was the problem. So I put that problem onto other people. So like when I talk to my clients, I'm like, I've been there. I've doing what you're doing. Like I understand. If you're not ready, then that's fine. Like come back to me when you're ready, and that's fine. They're like, oh, okay, she understands. Like it's about relating to people, I think, with our job as well. Like being able to see it from their point of view, because like sometimes they think that we're superhuman and we don't have problems and we just like power through life and don't have obstacles, but it's not like that at all.
I think that's one of the things as well, which is quite like sometimes fascinating conversation as well with social media, because like generally, obviously I'm guilty of it as well. Everyone will only generally put out like the best photos of them, or the highlight reel of their life, rather than like the shit stuff. So like, I did a podcast recently talking about body dysmorphia and like how that, like I used to be overweight as a child and how that sort of affected me, and I could probably have still like not mental issues, but it's probably like it's in the background of my mind all the time. So like I think a lot of people sometimes think they look up to like myself or you guys and like think that, as you said, it was superhuman, you've got nothing, like no problems, no shit to deal with, whereas like a lot of people have their own emotional baggage that you like skeletons in the closet that you don't see.
that you don't. And someone actually
So
posted that
true.
on our photo one day, was like, oh, you have the perfect life and you don't have any issues. And I was just like, ooh. And I was like, you know what? That's all they see, you know? So I was like, it's all right, man.
They see us traveling or whatnot. But
Yeah.
again, and then that's something we really do want to work on as well, is show the other side, like her up at late at night, like working. And we're yeah, exactly, man. And like even if you do travel, even if you do travel like yourself, like you're working the whole time. We're not really.
Like literally, I spent half the last month. I was in the UK for 13 days. The rest of the time I was away, and I was probably on my laptop like 50% of the time I was away. I was working in the airport, the plane, like non-stop, like.
There's not a lot of downtime, because that your chill time is the best time. You've got to work.
Yeah, it was when we're training.
Yeah, because otherwise we're training or you're doing other life stuff. You're trying to get done, like appointments and stuff as well. We all have appointments like everyone else and other work commitments. So. With
your prep, obviously you mentioned you train 3 times a day. Then with your cardio, how much are you both doing at the moment then?
So we actually ramped it up. So we've really pushed this prep. We wanted to test ourselves. So doing more than what we're meant to. But that's just something we chose to do.
Does your coach know?
Yeah.
She realised that it's just, and she just went, I think she knew in the back of her mind. She knows what we're like. Yeah. But we do, in the morning, we'll get up and do 40 to 45 minutes cardio. And then obviously some posing. And then we do our trainings, even like that. Because of me, usually end up doing it at my weight session. Still at the moment, it still goes to an hour, so hour and 15, getting through that, and then we've been going back at night time when there's a bit of downtime at the gym. It's a bit quieter. Do some more cardio again, anywhere between how we feel, 45 minutes or 40 minutes to
an hour.
What exactly are you doing for your cardio then?
So we mix it up. So that we get asked that a lot. So I use the Stairmaster a fair bit, but like you get over that. So and your body gets used to. So I'll mix it up. I did that bike. The elliptical trainer. Yeah, so it's just it takes the pressure off as well, give the legs a break. And
I think so many people overthink the whole cardio thing. It's just whatever exerts your body.
I should say low intensity cardio. It's not. So we're not doing HIIT or anything like that.
We're not doing like high intensity. Like on the stepper, you're sweating it up. I might do like 10 minutes really high intensity, and then do like 30 minutes just like going hard. Like you're not dawdling, but you're not like dying.
Yeah.
Just to round it
up. Clarify that.
What time of day are you doing your cardio then? If you're training 3 times a day, you guys getting up pretty early? Like Matt, you said you're not sleeping much.
So yeah, like I'm up usually 5:30. When I say I'm up, I'm awake because I haven't been sleeping that great. But the time we get to the gym's like 6:30. We do the first cardio because again, it just works better for us to get that done, and so you get home and start doing work. Especially she'll wake up to so many messages to get through.
I do work whilst I'm doing cardio.
Yeah, actually she does all the time. So she'll be starting work while we're doing cardio. And then, again, we try to do the weight session, depending on appointments and stuff with work, around midday, so 11 or 12. And then back home in the afternoon, obviously meals and stuff, if we've got to do a bit of prep and work again. And then, at night time, I just find it's better at night time to...
Usually around 8:30 or 7:30 at night, and then finish about 9.
We'd miss the rush, and then.
Well, then have one meal after that, and then go to bed.
Well, I try and at the moment I've been leaving 2 meals after that. I purposely will space that meal out just so I feel like I'm a little bit full before I go to bed.
So then we go to bed around 11 or 12, and then get up at 5.
That's been the schedule for the last. Obviously, it's not always like that. That's just coming in the comp, but. That's sort of how it's been for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, and ideally, like with my clients, I'm like, sleep as much as you can, but, that doesn't happen always. Yeah, in reality, it doesn't. Like sometimes I sleep during the day, very rarely. I think last prep, when I wasn't busy with work, like I was having naps during the day, which was saving me because I don't sleep at night either. Like coming off night shifts a lot when I was doing nursing, like I just my sleep patterns never kind of reverted properly, so I find it very hard to go to sleep at night time.
I think because she works, that's a big one for her. She'll be working right up until she puts her head on the pillow, and I'm just like, and she's it's very hard to switch off.
Screen away. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
I think it's me literally from when I wake up in the morning. I end up it's from then until I go to sleep pretty much. Like I have probably like about 45 minutes before I go to bed. We shouldn't really watch TV before going to bed, but like that's like not looking at my phone.
We'll have the TV on. That's us watching TV, but she's working away. Yeah. But like the fans, she's like, and I know it's like, we'll just quickly get like a couple of these emails replied to, and there's less in the morning. And then she wakes up and it's just like, it just doesn't stop. So.
But it's just like this morning he got up me because I was walking and typing on my phone. He's like, maybe you should put your phone down. And
she wasn't even watching where she was walking. She's and prep brain as well lately. So it's been tough for her. Shit. And they've got clients going, and what you said this so? And she's like, oh my God, I did say that. Yeah, look, bear with me. But our clients have been really so good. So following us, like knowing where we're at this last 2 weeks. So they've been so good and supportive. To us with that.
Yeah.
So in terms of like the diet and with how everything's set up at the moment, obviously you guys are sponsored by Muscle Nation as well. How are you incorporating like supplements into the regime? Are you dropping, like I know some people are a fan of dropping out, say for example, like whey proteins coming in towards the show and going for more whole foods, it's more filling. Like are you still using pre-workouts?
Yep. No, so like we have in the past, and Em's never been a fan of that and artificial flavor. She's just, and like she brings next level condition. And I've been a bit funny about it because I'd have mates and be like, no, you're going to cut this out, you're going to cut that out. Or like you just said, cut the WPI out, the whey protein. But then the Muscle Nation one, I'm a huge, obviously responsible, but I'm a huge fan. They spent so long trying to develop it.
What's your favourite flavour of the whey out of interest?
I cannot get over the choc honeycomb.
Yes, that's the same one, mate. That is like that's the boy.
All the time, and they're like, no, Matt, we need you to use this. I'm like, no, we'll send that and a choc honeycomb. Like, and I chew through it, man. I literally, like, they always send it to me because they.
Every week is a new tub, and I'm like, Tula, we need some more protein. Tula, we need some more protein.
And then same with the like. I even at the moment, I'm still using the Legacy pre-workout because I feel like arse when I go, and it's just things. It pulls me out. And like, I have one scoop. So in terms of caffeine intake, it's like 150 meg, which is fine, but it's just enough to get me through that session.
But yeah, and a lot of people do take out like sweeteners and stuff coming into the comp, and like we do try to a degree. Like we have tried in the past to go off into like a plant protein and stuff, but like I've never had a problem with my conditioning, and I don't think that, you know, X amount of artificial sweetener is going to like ruin me for show day. So
and I think people raise their cortisol, and I was one of them. She's like, you're raising cortisol
thinking about
it. Like, if I want it, and she's like, you're sitting there wanting it so bad, but then in the back, insulin response and blah 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 blah. She's like,
he's like, should I do this? Should I do that? I'm like, just have it. Like come on.
I think, like in my opinion, like when I've competed before, I've never had any issues at all from like using sweeteners or whey isolates. And I think for me, I found an easier way, particularly like when you're in the fucking balls end deep bit where you feel shit and you're hungry all the time, that like having that sweet taste just like is something to look forward to every day.
A protein shake, like
being like your savior.
I'm looking forward to my post-workout protein shake because it's the only thing that tastes amazing.
So like, that's me, like blending it with like ice and either like berries or whatever, like that, like it's got bugger all calories in it. It's the easiest way just to like make something taste nice and sweet.
Protein, and that's all I feel like right now.
Protein and strawberries was too. So, but in terms of casein, that's one thing we've had to deal with. We cut the casein, unfortunately. We got to trial it, and that was the worst thing ever because we got to taste how amazing it was. That was it. So we've got it stored ready for post-comp.
Waiting.
That's one thing. They've got some exciting new flavours. One thing I'm hoping they make of that is the chocolate honeycomb flavour of the casein custard as well, to be fair.
I've got a couple of chocolate ones coming, but the one I did get the trial.
Vanilla.
No, Anne did the vanilla. I done the what was it? The
chocolate hazelnut?
Choc hazelnut. Yeah. And man, it killed me because it's sitting in the cupboard and I know how goddamn good it tasted.
Yeah.
Post-comp,
I was going to fill it with water and mix it up.
So obviously talk about post-comp. What's the plans then after this show, the rest of the year, next 6-12 months?
So we're actually going to London straight after this one to compete at the London Pro-Am. So that's exciting.
Yeah, so it's the second biggest show of the year. It's the international show, the European Pro-Am, which is in London. And it's 3 weeks after the show, so it couldn't have been any better for us. Like for us, we're like, oh, we can keep pushing. Like that works out well. And to get, like, it's a great excuse to get overseas again. And we actually got a little trip planned for afterwards for a couple of weeks. It's going to be Em's birthday, so that worked better. So we're planning to be in Amsterdam or Paris for that. So that's going to be our big reward.
And have some croissants.
Yeah, plenty of croissants.
Yeah, it's dangerous. I just got back from Italy. Like, the food in Europe's like crazy and something. It's just carb heavy everywhere.
So we're going to have to try and reverse diet out, which is obviously going to be a difficult situation. So we're thinking we might just like intuitively eat for 2 weeks and then reverse diet out after that, because really, like, who wants to reverse diet in Europe?
I know, we're going to have to keep the activity levels up. We're aware of it. We're just like, we can see how we can go for 2 weeks and without going. Well, obviously we're not going to go ridiculous, but we're not going all the way there not to enjoy some food.
I think it's one of the things, I don't know if you guys find the same. I find for me, as long as I keep the training and like some cardio in, then you have to be like addicted.
Well aware of that. We have to, especially if we're going to do that. Like cardio does not, it'll stay, not 3 sessions. When we're doing 3 sessions a day, but cardio will stay.
I'll have to try and keep our steps up around like 16 or 18K a day though, to be honest. Like, because our steps have been so high, our activity has been so high that this last 3 weeks especially. So just weaning that off will be the biggest thing, and then trying not to overindulge on the food, because like we've both done it. You've done it more than I have. Like just eating so much post-comp, and obviously going from like this amount of calories to this amount of calories is never a good idea post-competition. So that's the aim for after this comp. So stay tuned to see how that goes.
Out of curiosity, talking about post-comp, like a learning curve, because I wouldn't do it again because I felt so ill. Have you ever guys gone on a massive binge? Because I remember after my last show, literally I ate so much. I ended up I remember lying on my bathroom floor, my stomach like a turtle shell, ended up being sick. And like I thought I might die. I thought my stomach was going to explode.
I have done it again. The last 2 competitions, I have done that, bro. And the last one was by far the worst. And I knew what was going to happen, and I still chose to do it.
I was there going, don't do it. And don't do it, but he kept doing it.
I was laying on the bed, like, I thought my belly was going to pop. There was that much discomfort. And you know what? I woke up the next morning and I did it again that next night. That's how bad it is, man. And she's just like, she's like, and my mates did as well. They're like, you just did that. Are we seeing how much pain you're in? I'm like, I know. Again. Yeah. I know. I want to enjoy this. But yeah, I think I've well and truly learnt my lesson there in the last 2 comps.
We're not going to do that again.
No,
it's not worth it.
100%. Now we'll start to wrap up there, guys. Have you guys got any tips then for anyone, for couples who are dieting together, how to get on, how not to kill each other? Anything you found helpful?
It's very, like, it's important to be mindful of the other person, because like, although you're going through a lot yourself, like, you have to understand that your mood affects that other person greatly. So like, being mindful of that is a big thing, because I think when I feel like shit, I'm like, okay, no, I can't be like that to Matt, because he's also going through shit. So being mindful of that is a big one, and just trying to keep each other's space as well. Like, not being in each other's face all the time is a good thing as well. Like, we try and have like our own space. If you're over in the kitchen, I don't try and like get in your face.
She'll wait till I'm out of the kitchen or whatnot, and just like being like when we're cooking and stuff or eating, and just being understanding. Like, most of the time, if I'm like a bit down, or I'm not having a bit of off day, like, she'll be the supportive one. And then she's had her days as well during the prep where I'm like, man, you're killing me at the moment. I'm trying to lift you up. And then it's enough to be like, or it'd be like, okay, this is my turn. She's pulled me through a couple of rough days, especially on the really low day. So you have to put aside your feelings sometimes as well to be that person's light for a little bit. So that's my biggest tip for people, is just try not to be in your own head too much, because you got to also like be mindful of your feelings and like how that affects other people.
That's some awesome advice. Now we'll wrap up there. So for anyone who's listening to find out more about you guys and what you do, what's your Instagram handles? How's the best way to get in touch with you directly?
So mine's Matt Oreilly _ WBFF Pros. Pretty easy, that one. And you can either DM me on Instagram or
slide into the DMs.
Slide into the DMs, or on my Instagram profile there is a link to our website.
And mine is Emily _ King Bodies.
Awesome. All right, pleasure, guys. Thank you so much, and I'm sure you'll crush it with the show in a few days. And hopefully, when we come over to the UK, I might see you guys then.
Yeah,
yes.
Can't wait. Thank you so much for having us on, brother. And yeah, we'll be seeing us hopefully in London.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.